the Heart and Mortgage Finance Company. So in Tobago now, them realize Minister Man, the douglAR nickname get too boring, boy. So our man rename the Minister Man Marvin Gonzalez as Marvelous Marva, boy. A Marvelous Marva, Marvin Gonzalez. You is now Marvelous Marva. Put up Marvin, Marvelous Marva. Now, the Minister Man is no more. Look at, welcome, Marvelous Marva. Run it.
This is what has happened when people don't want to listen to people. Some engineers and some bright people construct into a system in Crown Point and listen to who they're supposed to listen to, and now we end up in shit. Watch. Line up the scratch, line up the thing with water, and we don't know where the plug is. And we are no Vactor. All the Vactor shut down. And where Marvin? Where is Marvelous Marva? Where is Marvelous Marva? Let she come and deal with this. Let she come and deal with this. And they say we don't want to work. And they say we don't waste our time. What them? $200 million in shit.
You know, I had to laugh. I'm laughing at the Marvelous Marva. So Minister Man, while you're checking your inseam and your outseam and your underseam and your backseam with Eclipse Eli, you is now Marvelous Marva, boy. But you see 200 million, and the men at Wassa tell them, and there are many more things coming down for here, you know. I hear you, Marvelous Marva, feel you are the CEO. You could run Wassa like your own little fiefdom and contracts going left, right. And Marvelous Marva, I promise you, I come in just now, boy. And when I come, boy, the only place you will have to go, Eclipse will have to come and measure you as you poo-poo in a bucket in Golden Grove, boy. You wait right there, Marvelous Marva. And you go and try and, I dare you to go and humbug that man I dare you. Marvelous Marva, I dare you to humbug that worker in Wassa. I really dare you, boy. I want, you know, like how you was trying to get the man who somehow hurt your heart so much that you didn't even want him to drive a van? What a man could do you that you don't want him to drive a van? What he take? The golden hand, and he took it to the man in the tan van? What you had to worry about a man driving a van? You better, I hear you looking to find out who is that Wassa worker and why he do that video. Do him something now. I ain't saying nothing. If you feel PSA bad, if you feel OWTU bad, let me tell you, when the douglAR start on you, me start on you, and you's done minister, man. You's done the worst minister in the history of public utilities. On top of that, man, nowhere does be lying down. You don't know where to go, whether it's Dwayne or Eclipse Eli. So you go ahead. We have the affidavit from your wife. Don't make me read it out. Introduce Park and Ride for Christmas. Sando Chamber calls for waterfront parkade to be utilized. Parkade in San Fernando. 100. With the Christmas season approaching and limited parking in the southern city for shoppers, a suggestion is being made for NITCO to set up a shuttle service from the $132 million underutilized parkade for Kings Wharf. So PNM, Member of Parliament, Faris Al-Rawi, ala Johnny Sukaran, ala Kiatsut, ala Flex, ala, hi guys, 132 million parkade, underutilized, nobody in parking. 131 million Skinner Park to take a FIFA world-class field and turn it into a fet match site, and then come to lie and ball, oh, you could play football, there is minimum standard, abject total nonsense. And to Noel Garcia, when I went to watch Fatima and we lost to QRC, boy, I moved seats 4 times. I observed people around me in the 4 different positions, at least 3 or 4 people per position, averaging about 16 people who sit down on the seat, and the seat lopsided. They sit down watching the football so. Then some of them slip off so. Then the others do so. Some mash up. That thing now fix. Mr. Skin Teeth, you fix it just like your face. Mash up. Right? He now spend $90 million of all your money. And the seats in the stadium, all you who went Monday night to watch Trinidad and Tobago, tell me Alina, is the cheapest set of stupid, waste of time, corrupt seats in history. And that is the same kind of seats that was put on in Skinner Park. And that is over between Skinner Park and Hasty Crawford Stadium. Over $220 million that mash up teeth, mash up face clown who I see coming out of Alice Glen Massey stores with a big bag, and I swear I see Rowley name on the bag. That Las Alturas clown, that Rowley friend, that Greenvale clown, that Rowley man, that fella Noel Garcia, he have plenty to answer for. And all you know, because it had at least 11 to 12,000 people in the stadium watching Trinidad and Tobago beat USA. How much all you sit down comfortable on a seat? Brand new seat, eh? Home for Christmas. Staff and students anxious as Ramai Trace Hindu School nears completion. This is the Hindu school that Archie went and filmed that was 92% complete under Tim Gopi Singh and Kamla Prasad Bisesa in 2015. The wicked, malicious, vindictive PNM, even to children, they leave it. But look, it looks like it is coming to fruition finally because of the pressure of the people, the pressure of Rudal Munilal, the pressure of the UNC. So maybe the children could get into the school. Look at today. This is his school. Archie did this video about 2 years ago. And that school was left like that to depreciate all your taxpayers' money because of the malicious, vindictive, heartless, wicked ways of Keith Rowley and the PNM and the woman who went down the stairs, past the 3 dogs, past a parrot, through the dungeon door and lay down on the red couch, waiting for the horny goat weed to take effect so performance could happen for 3 minutes. And when you're talking about children, a man who had to leave his business, he's do tours for people, and I want to book a tour for my daughter to go. He's do hiking tours, waterfall, them kind of thing. The scenery of Trinidad and Tobago. He had to leave a whole day work because his little child got sick and had to go to Mount Hope Pediatric Hospital. And when they reach, imagine you have a sick child. I want all you to understand this, a child sick. When your child sick, when my daughter have a little cold and she nose blocked, I can't sleep. I only watching to see if she breathing good. And a father take his daughter to Mount Hope Hospital under convent girl Dial Singh, that the whole of St. Joseph don't know where he gone. And then he wait for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then they come to say, well, you'll have a 5-hour wait to see a doctor or to get any sort of attention. Now remember, you sit down with a sick child. You ain't know what's wrong with your child. Your child in pain, suffering, you're touching them fever. Then after 3 hours of the 5 hours that they were supposed to wait, they come and make another announcement. No, it's not 5 hours, it's 7.5 hours. The child got to see a doctor 9 hours and 38 minutes later. Think about that. Think about if that was your child, how you would feel. And that's in Mount Hope Pediatric Hospital. When Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Fuad Khan, Jolene John had built the Covert Children's Hospital, what did the wicked, malicious, vindictive PNM do? Leave it closed down. And up to now, children suffering. And you all try to play like politics. All politicians is the same. I don't get involved in politics. Really? That's why it's like that. Because they make you feel that. How you could say it's the same thing? How you could say Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Fuad Khan was the same thing? How you could say Jolene John who built teaching hospital and then that hospital and a REMA to 85% and point 14 to 40% after 43 years of the PNM never doing nothing? How you could say that? If you say that, you're dishonest. PM congratulates Trinidad and Tobago students for topping CXC. Let me put on my glasses to read this one, boy. Prime Minister, meaning Keith Rowley, you know. Keith Rowley, who has overseen the decimation of the education sector from his cutting of gate from a high of 726 million in 2014 under Fazal Karim down to 285 million. From 59,000 students accessing gate per year down to 28,000. A man who closed down MIC centers built by David Lee. A man who shut down and cut funding for UTT, that 30% of the programs shut down in UTT, cut funding to COSTAT, cut funding and closed down NESC centers, closed down the TTHTI, the Hotel Institute, closed down all the opportunities for our children. On top of that, put a minister of education who get the work on his red couch. Right? On the red couch. A day your woman come and tell me, Anil, you lie. I never walked down past no tree dog, past the parrot, into the dungeon, and went on the red couch. Tell me, Gadsby Dolly. I want you tell me. In fact, send pre-action protocol. Let me discuss it in the court. And I call in Foster Cummins as the first witness to describe what he did with you and why this man gets so vexed with him and cuss him up for 2 hours on the phone. He didn't know people was listening. He didn't know it. Anyway, let me just say that. Now you go ahead. So he congratulates. Leave them up now. Look, leave them up. Leave them up now. Right. And that woman best friend, Fern Narcissus Scope, is the person in charge of the EBC. And you all say that's fair, right? She went to school, St. Augustine girls with Fern Narcissus Scope. They clothes like that. They dress in red together and take picture. All them PNM girl. And Fern Narcissus Scope is in charge of an electoral process between PNM and UNC. And you all think that's okay. So why they didn't have a Brazilian referee in the match with Argentina and Brazil in the Maracana a day and a half ago? Why they didn't do that? Anyway, Rowley congratulates. Here, Rowley. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has congratulated the Trinidad and Tobago students who topped the Caribbean Secondary School. In mathematics, 33 TNT students, the majority of them from Naparima College, San Fernando, were those ranked #1 in the subject. But Rowley said, notwithstanding the acknowledged many challenges, something good is happening in many parts of our education system. Anything good that is happening in the education system has absolutely nothing to do with you, Keith Christopher Rowley. In fact, it is happening despite you. Despite Naparima College and all these colleges coming under fire from you with the Concordat, despite the lack of funding, the parents and teachers in certain schools put and sacrifice and their children happen to succeed. Children in Tobago always have bright children. The top, the creme de la creme. The problem under you is that the rest of children have been left and their skills have not been respected. They have not been taught. You have an average of 800 to 1,000 children per year since 2017 under your watch, getting 0 in SCA. We have dropped to a level that is unprecedented. You have eliminated scholarships because you are ashamed and you want to bring down these children that you are now praising because for your own petty, divisive, racist politics, you can't take the truth that in the top 200 of the SCA for the last 20 years, 160 to 170 names is East Indian names. See, the douglAR could say it because the douglAR just talk performance and performance beat old talk. And if it used to be a reverse way, and the PNM take black people children and put them at the bottom of the barrel, but other people pick up their children, put away the slippers, sacrifice, and focus on education. You have to learn to be proud of that. Don't hide it. So you decide you go in and give out bursary with this one. So me I know if you had to go on a red couch, if you had to buy 3 dogs, or if you had to get a parrot, a dudgeon, and a red couch. I don't know how to get a bursary. But under Tim Gopi Singh, you had scholarship. Simple. You could be anything. You could be black, white, Indian, green, Hindu, Muslim, Orisha, Shouter Baptist, Christian, Pentecostal, Jah Rastafari. Once you work hard and you do your exams, you get your scholarship. That is Kamala way. That is Tim way. Your way is come on a red couch. And if it's not on a red couch, be a teacher who convince a girl to give him pum pum. See? All your fit real good. And people put you as a prime minister. Understand that? This mosquito. Actually, this Southern mosquito, they spray here. They spray here long time. But with this with the mosquito, that big mosquito, boy. Anyway, let me also tell all you, while there were 40 children who did top the marks and so on in different subjects, there were 33 in mathematics, then there was some in geography and so on. Well, you know what the douglAR go do? Out of the names printed in this newspaper, taken from The Guardian, page 5, Sunday, November 19, 2023. Just to show you. You see, you must not be afraid to give Jack the jacket and Jim the gym boots. And if you're a leader and you see something going good, you have to find out, why is that going good? I want all of my children to have an opportunity to go that good. So don't ridicule other people. Don't be divisive. Don't play games. Don't discriminate against resources. Don't hide results and make parents go for FOIA. That's not how you deal with issues. You face issues like a man, present resources and solutions and solve it. Not like this mama pool. Because he's a bully, a mama pool. I tell you, I stand up anything. I stand up waiting for Kamala to go and reach the budget response. I really didn't see. I stand up there with some of my senatorial colleagues. And when I turn so, this thing come out of some office, some hole he have, and they may not have a red couch, green couch or what, but somewhere he come out. And he come out. I just feel a evil and I say, boy, all you could have warned me, boy. The whole place get dark. I start to smell sulfur. I say, oh Lord, all you could have tell me the devil come. Mr. Mama Pool, with all these special brothers, walk quietly and go your way. Go your way, boy, because you like to bully people. You like to bully permanent secretaries. You like to bully judges. You like to bully DPP. You like to bully people who cannot respond. Why you don't bully me, a big dotish Mama Pool? Let me tell all you what happened. Leave Mr. Couchman. In the numbers in this article, and this is not all, this is just a few of those who did well and topped the whole Caribbean. Out of this number, the total number here printed, the names, out of 13 names printed of children who came first, there was one name of mixed descent, whether Spanish, Syrian, Portuguese, white, Trini white, whatever, mix-up name, right? One. There were 3 Afro names, African, 3 African names, and 9 Indo names, 9 Indian names, out of 13. And if all you don't believe me, go and read the article and you would see. And this is what I am saying. When Indian Trinbagonians have succeeded over the last 30 years at education, we must understand why and see why our African children who were succeeding when my father, you see my father laughing at me, QRC beat me, when my father was a scholar and thing back in the 60s coming up, it was only black African scholars. You hardly see an Indian. If you get one Indian, you're lucky. If you get a Capildeo, if you get a Bade Sagamara, if you get a Bastille Pande, if you get one, you're lucky. Out of 30, one Indian. Now, it's mostly Indian in every sphere of academia. And these fellas want to pull it down rather than find out and uplift the other section. But them just come and say, vote race. That's why the douglAR say they have no race. All are we in Trinidad and Tobago is one. This is dotish Kamla and the UNC is bright. Don't vote dotish. Don't vote for this clown. It don't matter that he black. He just dotish. If this was a white picture, he just dotish. If this was an Indian picture, he dotish. If this was a Syrian picture, he dotish. If this was a douglAR picture, he dotish. If he had an afro, he's dotish. If he wear a dress like one of them transvestite transgender in the Miss Universe, who one of them make the top 20, he's just dotish. It has nothing to do with nothing. Watch when I mean dotish. Look at Port of Spain. Port of Spain have a PNM MP, have a PNM cabinet, have the PNM government, have the PNM mayor, have every PNM councillor. Watch Port of Spain. Go ahead, show them Port of Spain, man. Yeah, go ahead, running. Watch Port of Spain. That PNM, it ain't no UNC day. PNM vote, they close the eye, they don't come watch Port of Spain. They have everything. They have the minister of local government, they have the mayor, they have every councillor, they have the prime minister, they have the MP, they have the MP next door, they have the MP on the other side. They have everything. They have Noel Garcia, they have Judy Cotman, they have bald-head lady, they have everything. Watch Port of Spain. Watch it. And what you gonna say? Well, it's a black man leave the garbage there, so garbage nice. Rowley's a black man. And he had the place looking so. Well done, black man. Let me vote black man. Let me live in more stench. All you don't find it stupid. All you don't find we embarrassing we country. This Port of Spain. And then, when you leave Port of Spain now, when you go down, we have geographical discrimination. Imagine that. Because when you're in Diego Martin with the Prime Minister Rowley, the acting Prime Minister, the Dwayne, the next one, the acting Dotish, the Nobriga, you just get bad road, flood, bush all around, mosquito biting you as it rain 22 minutes, place flood out, cocoreat flood out, traffic, garbage collection woeful. We in a mess in Diego Martin, and them is the toppers. So far less for down south. Watch and see what happening. Patrol killing people and all. Go ahead, show me.
Big man, you ready?
Yeah. You sure? Yeah. I got it. I should.
Right, so here what's going on, right? We in DB, we call this area again?
DB Trace.
DB Trace, right? Just before they turn off the end of the highway. Right? If you come to the end of the highway and you turn right, look my boy now, this bike man now fall off his bike. You know why? You know why this man fall off his bike? Look, my car tire bus. Cause next man car tire bus, right? And let me show you the reason why this happening is because of a hole on the road. A hole on the road causing a set of vehicle thing to happen. This highway just get repaired. Watch what's going on here. Watch what causing the problem. Watch what causing the problem. A hole on the road. A bike man now fall off his bike. You understand? Could have dead. Right? Nearly run out of cover because of this big damn hole on the road. The now fix this highway. Look. I nearly run off the damn road with my family. You understand? Watch this. Watch that. Watch this. Watch the hole. Watch this hole. This causing all this problem. People, man nearly lost his life already. Nearly lost his life because of this hole in the road here, boy.
And today in Diego Martin, it rained in Diego Martin from 8:15 drizzling, but it overcast, pitch black, it like night in Diego Martin, whole day till about 4:45. You know, at 3:15, when I pass in by West Mall, on that piece of little roundabout that when you're driving the highway, you could dead just so because you have to move from 100k down to 0, right? To go wrong, Rohan and them, small roundabout that Paulie designed. You know Junior Sammy had trucks with hot mix, pack up one of them big truck. Me and him know what is the capacity. All you go know with the biggest truck, full, a hot mix. You hear what I tell you? It raining since 8 a.m. The pitch, the whole of Diego Martin, it rained. Let me tell you, if you had a radar picture, you would have just see orange or red all over Diego Martin. Them had 4 truck. A hot mix. The rain falling at it, it's steaming up and smoking. Them pitching road in a pitch black rain, the river, Diego Martin River, 2 feet from overflowing, and P&M going to pitch road in the rain. That is P&M. That is management. That is your money. And Jusamco, I see a nice trucks pretty. But I saw them same trucks by Balize House. And when Rowley gone, when Smallpin gone, when Richie Sukai and the air condition gone, when Rohan Sinanan gone, when the people get rid of the P&M, you see that thing? That Balize showcase, we will showcase the corruption of the P&M. Because Junior Sammy, you go out to explain how much they pay you from the donations that they say they pay for. How much they pay you for how much material. Because when we get a forensic engineer to go in there and work out how much spend. I'm not picking on you alone. Because it's Junior Sammy truck I see with my own eyes. I a witness, I go in the inquiry. When my daughter was playing tennis in Tranquility, over every Saturday, over a 7-week period, I see Junior Sammy truck. I see Calco truck. I see Kusal truck. And I see Earth Movers truck. I see 8 workers talking Spanish. ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Yeah, man, a real maco good. So, when all you're ready, that Balize showcase, Jolene John and Munilal will deal with that. And the homeless will go in that showcase. So, all you have, all your bills, try to organize some paperwork, eh? Don't backdate thing and thing, you know, because they might have a real commissioner of police back then. $100 a day to send a child to school because Rohan can't fix road. Because the minister of Catwoman suit, Johnny Sukaran, can't fix road. Because the P&M wastes out all your money and the roads are the worst in history. In Todd's Road and Todd Station Road, $100 to take a child from inside to school and back. You could imagine $100 a day. And P&M come to boats and say they raise minimum wage by $3 or something, $2.50. That's how people have to suffer. Because to have Rowley in the seat as a prime minister, instead of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, a middle-class family of 4 pays between $40,000 and $90,000 per year out of their pocket to keep Rowley there. What Rowley have that is so? Rowley is Mother Teresa, he's Gandhi, he's Mandela. Who is Rowley? Rowley is a scumbucket who's a teacher and impregnate a girl at school age. Rowley is a scumbucket that material from a hospital rolled to somewhere by he. Rowley is a scumbucket who wife had been one Woodrow place guarded by special branch because he can't keep his tiny branch in his pants, and when it come out, it has come out naked, no prophylactic, dropping children all over. That scumbucket, lashing fisherman wife, lashing minister in the cabinet wife. That's what you all vote for? This fool. As I say fool, Winston Dukaran plead to politicians, close the gap between promises and action. Winston Dukaran, let me tell you something. Boy, I was so stupid when I read all your book and your paper back in the day, 2017, talking about the bottom up, talking about the principles of propriety, helping those most in need, how you use the economic power that you get to impact the life. And then you go in a cabinet and fight for Yetming, Conrad Al-Young, and Lockjack. You fight for Lockjack to remain as Caribbean Airlines chairman. That P&M Lockjack, the P&M Lockjack who say, if we give you back the $400 million for the private jet, you feel you go get hospital beds. The P&M Lockjack who they say don't build a hotel in the sea there in Tobago. He built the hotel and the P&M give him $110 million and bail out his P&M Lockjack tail. The same P&M Lockjack who built Carlton Savannah and it bust, and I on the radio with Dennis Hall aka Sprangalang, and our research showed that the First Citizens Bank and Karen Nunes Teixeira and the P&M was going to give Lockjack and them at Carlton Savannah, that is now Bricks and next set of P&M, $350 million to bail them out. And when I bust that on Power 102.1 FM, Power Drive with Sprangalang, 28% share, 89,000 people listening per hour. P&M at a back. But then you know what they did? They had Chogum and they put the Queen to stay there. And Lord alone knows how much they had to spend for security and the whole building and so on, for it might have been the same 350 million. You come to fight your own members in government to leave Lockjack, P&M Lockjack at the helm of Caribbean Airlines, and you come in to tell me, close the gap between promises and action. You were the Minister of Finance in the People Partnership government. And let me tell you something. The only time things got done and money that was supposed to be allocated for projects and so on at various ministries, the only time that it moved while you were Minister of Finance was when you went on some conference and Vasant Bharat. Yes, Vasant, even though I disrespect you, I have no respect for you, I think you're an idiot, you're dotish, you're talking nonsense. The douglAR don't lie on people. Vasant Bharat, when he acted as Minister of Finance, was extremely efficient. He worked hard. He got money released. He put the permanent secretary and things got going to generate jobs in the economy and so on. You come to tell people about promises and close the gap. Close the gap between your mouth. And I have plenty more. Moving now. Wasting time. As I say, Vasant I now big up. Now I had to go back to reality. Vasant Bharat in the papers today. Vasant P&M Gypsy Bharat. Vasant Bharat says, UNC lifetime member, this is Guardian Wednesday, November 22nd, page 7. Now, all little buy no Guardian, I just buy it to mash it up and to show all you that you all have to be smarter than these people. But the information I will utilize to give you all information, right? UNC lifetime member Bharat said he would consider nomination because Trinidad and Tobago is in ruins. Nothing works and no one is taking responsibility. A change of government is necessary if we are to change course before it's too late. Out of control, this is Vasant Bharat. Vasant Bharat. Out of control murders and gang violence. Almost every state institution has failed. The criminal justice system, education, police service, WASA, NIB, etc., roads and infrastructure are in a deplorable state. There is widespread social decay, frightening violence at schools. First of all, let me deal with that. That's Vasant Bharat. But Vasant Bharat, that's your government. That's your policy. You are on the roadmap to recovery for the PNM. You and Mohammed and the KFC man, finger licking good, all you in charge of the roadmap to recovery. So if there is no recovery, Vasant, and people have to take responsibility, you have to line up to take your responsibility. You are on the roadmap to recovery team. You are an advisor to the government. You set down the government's plan, the roadmap that they are implementing. So when you see it's a roadmap to out of control murders, then you in that. When it's a roadmap to gang violence, well, Vasant, you in that. When it's a roadmap to the failed criminal justice system, you in that roadmap. When it's a roadmap to education, police, WASA, NIB, infrastructure, you in that roadmap. Who you think mean there? Take responsibility. Take responsibility. Furthermore, Vasant, you know all this going on. Please, tomorrow, post, and we don't have it. Everything you post, we don't have it. So don't go and lie, eh? Post all the times in the last however long that you realize all these things collapse, all these institutions. Please print and post all your articles, your statements, post up your videos, like your doubles and coffee, like how I could show you every day. I say no hard, Rowley, you're disgusting, you're pathological, you ain't good, education ain't good, public utilities ain't good, economy ain't good, energy ain't good, trade ain't good, no forex, institutional control damage. I could show you all, doubles and coffee, all, the douglAR politics, all I could show you. Show me yours. No, not that. I didn't want to show you. You know, you like to show off all them. They're not that at all. Show me all your critiques of Rowley and the PNM. Please. Because I have all that you attack Kamala. You attack Kamala and Kamala this and Kamala that and she weak and the UNC this and the whole. Show me all the times that you criticize all of these things you're now saying. And then he comes to say now, you know it had to be the Vasan. Clung. I'm saddened by UNC's string of defeats since 2013. First of all, the UNC is a team of which you were a critical member in 2013 coming forward. You were the Minister of Agriculture. You were the acting Minister of Finance. You were a minister in the Ministry of Finance. You were the Minister of Trade and Industry. When Kamala lost and the PNM cheat the election and the EBC tell them they get an extra hour and didn't tell the UNC, Kamala put you in the Senate. You was an opposition senator. You were part and parcel all day. So if we lost, Vasant, you too, on top of that, Vas, Kamala said to you, you are my Lionel Messi. You are my Mbappe. 2015, Vasant, you are the man. Go and bring home St. Joseph for me, Vasant, so that the UNC and our 309,000 and more supporters and the people of Trinidad and Tobago can benefit from the GATE program, agricultural program, sporting program, good roads, infrastructure, great corporate governance, one man for one board, no family members on boards, foreign direct investment and so on. Come on, Vasant. Kamala said, come on, Vasant. Bring it home for me, Vasant. Vasant, win it for me. Go there. Take the penalty, Vasant. The ball is yours. Vasant, you kick it in the Gulf of Paria. You missed the whole flipping goal. Convent girl beat you. Vasant. Convent girl beat you. A man who could not pass a pharmacological exam. The worst minister. We're number one in the world. Well, he was number one in St. Joseph because he beat you. And you are sad about the losses that Kamala had. It's you. So on top of that, stay where you is. Stay in your PNM. In fact, go up in St. Joseph for the PNM. Okay, Vasant? He then continued on. He said, some people tell him, don't file no nomination papers. The lady doesn't want to hear your name. Frankly, I'm not deterred by that, said Vasant. Vasant, it had nothing to do with the lady. Is something wrong with you? Are you delusional? Vasant, the people don't want you. The people of Trinidad and Tobago don't want you. The UNC supporters that you have suffered, that you went and aided and abetted the PNM in ensuring that Rowley scraped through a victory in 2020 with 35,000 people outside, with a PNM EBC run by Fern Narciscope, the best friend of Gadsby Dolly and the niece of former Minister Maxi Coffey. You who went to help Gypsy, you who attacked Kamala and didn't help the UNC, and the UNC lost 2020 election by 2,612 votes, Vasan. You, they had nothing to do with the lady. Kamala could want to bring you back how much Kamala want. The people will run you, Vasant. Vasant, let me also point to you. Let me ask you, you want to go for St. Augustine? Okay, let me screen. The douglAR going and screen here. Remember the douglAR fair? I just tell the whole country that the only time in the first 18 months of People Partnership that we got anything done was when you acted as Minister of Finance. That's a fact. I cannot lie on you. Now you're dotish, you're ignorant, you're wicked, you're selfish, you're myopic, you're sad, you're disgusting, you're a PNM, you're a roadmap. All of that too is true. Okay? So let me screen you. So you're going up against the incumbent Khadija Amin. Khadija Amin, hamper, flood, working for the people on the ground. Up to last night, she in St. Joseph in my meeting mobilizing for St. Joseph Monday night. On this coming Monday, she all over helping councillors, walking, screening, NATEX, chairman of the party, every meeting, talking, not talking, organizing, sharing hampers with councillors, getting information, filling out forms, debating in the parliament, fighting for the people for the last 3 years as a MP and 5 years before that as a senator. That's she. We screen in, you come now. Okay, Vasant, well, I've been attacking Kamala. Anything Kamala say, I say Kamala dotish. Kamala ain't good. Kamala weak. Kamala beat me 4 times. I still want to go back for a next licking because I like it finger licking good. Sometimes man like to get licks from woman. I love Rowley. I join Rowley. I help Gypsy. Michelle Benjamin beat both of we. I was helping the PNM. I joined the roadmap to recovery with Mute and the Chicken Man and Mohammed and all of them. I was lining with Rowley. I big up Mrs. Rowley. I didn't take no picture with Kamala, who is a senior counsel. I take picture with a junior normal counsel who by the special branch, and I big up that. That's your screening. How are you going to win? I tried to go for a victory and I only get 600 votes. That is your case. You lost your case, not nobody, not Kamala. Exactly, not Kamala. It had nothing to do with Kamala. Let me tell you, if Kamala bring you and put you anywhere there, Kamala might face a revolt from the people. The people who love Kamala might go and say, Kamala, girl, something wrong with you. Vasant, you are a Nimakaram. How you going and win? On what basis? You help the PNM win. People are suffering. People are dying. People's homes are being invaded. Roads, people dying on the road. Poor infrastructure. As you say, you present the country with that. And now you want to put on yellow and go with whom? By whom? You want to come on douglAR politics and another say, yo, Vasant. Yeah, man, you real good, man. Vasant, listen, boy. Whatever it is you wrap up, stop it now. Go and take your meds. So in the screening, I is the screening committee here today. Khadija win. Right. Managing TNT's debt burden, says the Express. All of a sudden, the Express start to get bright. And they try to write the truth. But you know they must obfuscate. Managing TNT's debt burden. What Mr. Imbert did not say is much more significant. While meeting public debt is important, not running up the debt is even more crucial for the country's failing fiscal stability. In this regard, TNT has less than stellar record. Not TNT, the PNM Express. Say it. Imbert is not TNT. He is PNM. So the PNM has a less than stellar record. Right? To use Minister Imbert's starting point in the 60s, and it goes through the 60s and the GDP and so on from the 70s, economic opinion holds that for developing nations, a debt to GDP ratio shouldn't be higher than 64%. In 2016, this country's ratio was 65%. Express don't play games. You went 2016. That's after a year of PNM. When Kamala Prasad Bisesa left in 2015, it was 61%, below the norm of 64%. You see the games that these newspapers play? That's why you must not buy them, suffer them, let them make more losses. They go on, something about the IMF. Its most recent bulletin, the IMF, advised the government to continue gradually phasing out subsidies, streamlining transfers to state-owned enterprises, SOEs, and improving public spending efficiency. And that's exactly what the DWEN and the PNM have done. And they come to tell you, we've not gone to the IMF. Other countries have had to borrow from the IMF. The only reason that the PNM has not had to borrow from the IMF is that Kamala Prasad Bisesa left 7.6 billion US in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund in September 2015. She left 12.26 billion US of reserves, being 14 months of import cover. She left Trinidad and Tobago in a very solid position. What this DWEN has done is draw down on those savings that Kamala, Manning, and Pandey had left. And they borrowed and sucked that down. That should be up at 21 billion US. It's at 5 billion. So they didn't need to go to the IMF to get money. They went to your children, your children's future, your children's savings. But they implemented the prescriptions of the IMF, the austerity measures, cut back subsidies. Fuel subsidy, gone. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Regular gas, gone. Tea and tech now, rates going up. Rowley said, oh, we have to put the real rates, it's subsidized. Subsidies, that's because you own the oil and gas, not this Dwayne and not the mama pool on the red couch. So the Express continued. They said that's a strange boast. Borrowing to finance the health sector is not a sustainable policy. Indeed, save for 2 paragraphs in the 2015 manifesto, this PNM administration has been silent about instituting its promised national health insurance, but they're silent on everything they promise. The world in TNT examining, the World Bank was examining the country's social safety network, free education and healthcare, as well as social grants for various forms of public assistance. But did not say that the World Bank has warned that with the fall in international energy prices, TNT risks finding itself with increased debt without external financial buffers. The bank noted, policy action will require difficult but necessary steps to rationalize expenditure and maintain adequate levels of revenues. This very likely means reducing subsidies and transfers, which now account for 54% of government expenditures. Okay. If you have no brain, and this is the cup that you have, you can only fill this cup with liquid. That's it. And therefore, if you need to see about your people, and you need money to go to the people, which may not be what you call productive expenditure, meaning expenditure that creates jobs and churns the economy and produces growth, but it's very critical, important expenditure. Remember, politicians are not just economists. They have to have a heart for the people to take care of those most in need. Then you have to use most of this water to see about the people. And what the economists will tell you is, no, you only have this amount of water. So suffer the people, reduce the amount for the people, and put more into investment and projects and infrastructure development and so on. Okay, that's true. But that's if you only have this cup. Now, if you have an intelligent prime minister like Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who during her tenure increased or moved along the continuum of diversification, increased the revenue streams from other sectors, the manufacturing sector, the energy downstream sector, with Point Lisas moving up to 78%, the tourism sector, the sport tourism sector. She was moving into the health tourism sector, the agricultural, agro-processing sector, and the yachting industry, the boat building industry were vibrant there, and they're all closed down now. So if you had Kamla, you could have had, let's say this was a container to hold water, because plenty of oil does hold water in any kind of container now. So your revenue streams are now this plus this. Therefore, you're able to utilize your funds to serve the people. You don't have to wean the people off their own money. But Rowley says, wean you off the subsidy. See, Kamla could leave the subsidy for you because money is coming in from all over the place, not just one little tap. And when the world turn off that tap, these fellas are clueless. That is how it works. So when you vote for these idiots because they say we black, look the number one black man here. Love black people. Stay up Zimbabwe. Yes, man. This black freedom fighter, I'm sure he walked with Stokely Carmichael and Kwame Ture. Yes. That's what them tell you. They switch off your tap and they get their recusals, go in, and they could get what they want, and where they want and rent their own friend and attorney general building. That's what you vote for. That could never make sense. But the BOJ halt of TNT exchange, no currency crisis. Really? Jamaica said, hey, we here want no TT dollars. That is not a crisis because he and his boys still get in the US. Who will replace the central bank governor when Alvin Hilaire goes? Another article by the PNM and Anthony Wilson. Right? This man termed, this PNM one, who's Rowley's neighbor at Inez Gate, who replaced Jawala Rambaran because Jawala Rambaran was telling y'all that the PNM was hoarding the US and only a specified favorite few were going to get it, and that would have meant doom for the small and micro enterprises and for the regular people of Trinidad and Tobago. Jawala was telling you all that in 2016. The PNM fired him. Now the PNM had to pay him $7.5 million and he have a next lawsuit going on against him. But so the man who replaced him is Rowley's neighbor in Warner construction project called Inez Gate. And long next to him is Gilbert Peterson in Inez Gate, Newman George in Inez Gate, Ingrid Lashley in Inez Gate. When you lime in Inez Gate, all your taxpayers' money could be pooled right. They could have a meeting about all your money and what to do with it. All they have to do is go and drink scotch and eat shrimps in Inez Gate. But they're now saying, who is going to replace this man? A central bank governor is supposed to be fiercely independent, to work counter to the fiscal policy of the government. This is part and parcel of the problem. Independent institutions are not functioning. Rowley says, look at benefits from trips, not costs. Okay, Rowley. Rowley, you are the most traveled prime minister in the history of the Caribbean. When you went traveling to negotiate with CEOs and businessmen and cut deal and to go and buy ship for $1.5 billion, whether it's APT, James and Buku Reef ferries, when you go to negotiate gas price in Houston, when you go all over the place looking to bring yourself close to the suppliers of goods and services, if you all understand corporate governance, in order to limit thieving, you want to keep the decision maker, meaning the prime minister, as far away as the supplier, meaning Ostal, Incat, BP, Shell, EOG, other plague, anybody who performing, contractor, Kusal, Calco, you want to keep them far. So it ain't easy to thief. The closer they come, the closer the decision maker, the prime minister, comes to the supplier of goods and services, the ability and opportunity to thief is very, very high. As high as Fitzgerald Hines on a Monday morning at 11:35 p.m. Monday morning at 11:35 a.m. after riding a horse with an 8-year-old boy in the same saddle. That's how high the risk of thieving is. Rowley said to look at the benefits of his trips. I ask you, the PNM people, go on the comments now. Give us a benefit. He went Canada in a tracksuit. What is the benefit? He went Dubai and put on the wrong thing on top of a suit. What is the benefit? He went Howard University. Oh, it benefited him. He PNM brethren gave him an award, an honorary doctorate, right? For what? For good roads, good sewer system. You just saw Marvelous Marva. The Wasserman tell you watch Tutu in the road. The whole Alavanti for 10 months last year, Tutu in the road. When we had visitors coming down here for some conference, CARICOM and so on, Tutu flowing up Charlotte Street, Duke Street and so on, Tutu in the road. And they say that he get an honorary doctorate because the sewage system good. Tell me, what were the benefits of any trip Rowley went on? I'm asking you. Look, he went to buy Uganda and tell me 5 years ago, we going and get a eat cassava. Buy a eat a little oil down, nothing yet, boy. Hundreds of workers to fall by the wayside, more workers to go home. Already 123,000 workers off the NIB rolls. Petrotrin shut down 11,300 workers, 5,360 monthly paid, and the rest daily paid. Plus across the board, 6,000 SMEs shut down. Employment at the lowest. Them come to tell me CSO statistics are 6 months old, but they're really up to date. Hundreds of workers to fall by the wayside. Sunshine, Kenali. The government is shutting down 3 state enterprises within the next few weeks, throwing scores of workers on the breadline. Export TT, Invest TT, and Creative TT are being closed, and appropriate notices are currently being prepared for the affected workers. Shutting down those things are diversification. That's how you increase your revenue streams. Rowley and them shutting down even the hope of possibly coming through. But people like Dr. Terence Farrell, you are to blame. Because in 2018 January, you resigned from the Economic Development Board as chairman because everything you told this fool, he did not listen. But Dr. Terence Farrell, PNM deep in your heart and your soul, more important than your country, you stayed quiet. And to be so intelligent and so silent is disgraceful, Dr. Terence Farrell. GML loses third managing director. Guardian Media Limited loses its third managing director in 4 years. I tell you, I don't know this one. I want the next one. Yeah, but same thing, but he ain't so bad. Is the next one come and tell me how I does lie? And I think, yeah. Not that Sabga, the next one, redhead Sabga, right? He come and tell me, Anil, you're not telling the truth. Our newspaper is very fair and balanced. Lie, your paper is toilet. And that's why that's why your third managing director had to go. Because people are fed up of your lies. You going to hire Asha Javid to be in charge of political investigation? Next time you see me, whether we in carnival, drunk or sober, fete, exercise, anywhere, just walk past me straight. But good. They lose the third managing director, Dr. Carrie-Ann Hepburn Malcolm, good intelligent woman. She left them and gone Jamaica. But you want to know why? Leave him right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I promised him that for this fiscal year, they will lose at Guardian Media Limited $14 million. So far, in 9 months, they've lost 11.7 to 12.1 million. So we're going good. But I want to remind you all and him why. Look at this editorial. Okay, this is the Guardian editorial. Wednesday, November, today. Prime Minister, right on crucial energy matters. First, let me start with the headline. Rowley has been the worst prime minister with regards to energy and the energy sector in our history. Since 1908, we have been involved in the energy sector and oil exploration and drilling. We have been in refining products for decades. Rowley has decimated our energy sector. We refine nothing. Oil production is the lowest in history. Point Lisas is down to 28% capacity due to the negotiations done by Rowley. 11 companies shut up and left Point Lisas. There is no gas on the horizon. We are on flat gas. 17 bid rounds were offered by Rowley and his PNM in the last 15 months. Only 3 got bids. There is nothing on the horizon except their dream to set up and sign a piece of paper with a man in Venezuela who is setting up to fight war with Guyana and ignoring the international court. A man who says that he does not care what the international court decides. Rowley is going to put your future and your children's future on signing a piece of paper with a man of that caliber. Does that make sense? So let's say they sign a deal and your taxpayers' dollars go to invest in Dragon Gas, the infrastructure and so on, with Shell or BP or whoever it is. And Trinidad and Tobago takes loans and we find money and we do the infrastructure, and then eventually the gas starts to pump in 2028. And Maduro decide, hey, that gas making plenty money. I want all. What is this piece of paper going to do to stop this man? This man is building up bases and putting army and building up troops in the Essequibo, adjacent to the Essequibo region, to attack Guyana. This man is going on December 3rd to ask his citizens to say that we are ignoring the international court and we say that Essequibo Basin belongs to us, even though it has been settled since 1897. That's what that individual is doing. And Rowley and Smallpin are negotiating and say, hey man, let's sign a piece of paper. We're going to put a lot of money in there and fix it up, and then we're going to share the gas, all right? So what stops that man from saying, my army is strong. All you down in Tetran, all your boys can't shoot straight. All you could only shoot little babies. Ya Elvis Sarabia in the head and in the darker night. All you can't fight no war. All you have no plane. All you have no air guard. All you have no jet. All you have no missile. All you have no tank. All your fellas afraid bullet. All your army man can do is run down and horn man. If that man say he want to ignore this piece of paper, what this fool will do? Well, he won't be there anyway. But you must not allow him to sign away your future. But the entire energy sector has been decimated. But here, the Guardian, I ain't give you all the facts, but just you all know it better than me. Worst prime minister in history. Steel plant shut, everything in energy sector. Down to the Salcott, cannot send the money to Point Lisa, the water, for Wasa to make $5 per cubic meter profit, because the Salcott cannot, the energy sector is so decimated, the demand for water and all go on there. So let's get back to this gentleman's Guardian Media Limited. Prime Minister is right on crucial energy matters. Failure to secure a proper gas arrangement for Trinidad and Tobago and the revenue that goes with it is a danger for the country as a whole that can ultimately result in negative consequences for everyone in the medium and long term. You now realize that? When Keith Rowley and Smallpin went to Houston in 2017 and concluded, moved the intelligent technocrats who were negotiating hard with the upstreamers for every little bit, every little cent for Trinidad and Tobago, and Rowley went, usurped the authority, and went with his dotish Smallpin, two duns, negotiating with bright, intelligent people who know the business in Houston. And their profits, the upstreamers' profits after that negotiation, concluded by Keith Christopher Rowley, their profits went up 67%. And since it's a zero-sum game, we lost 67%. And therefore, the price we had, NGC had to then negotiate with downstreamers at Point Lisas, could not turn a profit for them. And CEOs took the decision to shut up plants. You know how desperate a situation had to be for you to say, listen, all that investment we have there, then we just put it down and let cobweb, let mosquito run. That's how incompetent Rowley and Stuart Smallpin Young are. But this Guardian goes on. It is right, therefore, that the government gives this matter the level of urgency it requires. Dr. Rowley addressed this succinctly on Monday as he advised people of Trinidad and Tobago should look at where we get our meals from and determine in a visionary way what would be our position if natural gas or energy dries up. But it has been drying up for the last 8 years. It is decimated. The profits are diminished. NGC made a loss for the first time in our history. But Rowley said, goes on, so what the Guardian is saying is that Keith Rowley is now being espoused by The Guardian as a diversification guru. Dr. Terence Farrell ran from this guru because he couldn't even diversify which girl to go down on the red couch. He only take grabby wabby wife. He could not diversify anything. He did not listen to anyone. He suffered every sector. Dr. Terence Farrell run. All the economic advisors run. Ewart Williams run from the IFC because Rowley only want to stick small pin, father, daddy pin, and he brother Angus nice next to him small pin around the neck, like a yoke around the neck of the intelligent people of Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley has decimated the economy. And The Guardian today writes that Rowley is some sort of visionary. He's succinctly telling us that we now, after he is Prime Minister for 8 years, and if diversification was this under Kamala, and we want to go way over here, we want to open it like this, but we were here and moving in this direction. Rowley came in September 2015 and decimated every sector, including the energy sector. If Rowley had left the energy sector alone, we would have been better off. If it was an automatic pilot. So if there was no Rowley, no Franklin Can, no Stuart Smallpin Young, no Nicole Oliveri, if you just left it, we would have been better off. But that's what the Guardian does. And therefore, my people, thank you. And keep letting them know. Do not buy the Guardian. Do not watch JW, the PNM Knockney on the morning Balize juice. Leave this man with his PNM thing. Because you know what? I made an error last time. I focused on the total revenue, the gross revenue, which was similar to 2019, but the profit went down, so it's good for them. In 2019, Ansa McCall made $1.11 billion profit. This quarter, this piece here, 341 million. So it's good. Crime talks, collapse, no surprise. Another media now. Another Express now. When I tell you all that these newspapers are the reason that someone like Rowley with such low caliber or non-performer, incompetent, a man who has no class, no ethics, no morality, no intelligence, no creativity, could be in the powerful position of the PNM Prime Minister, it's because of newspapers like this. Crime talk, collapse, no surprise, says the Express. In explaining his refusal, Dr. Rowley argued that the opposition deals with personalities. We deal with institutions. Yet in the same breath, he admitted that another reason for not taking part was the presence of former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith. So the Express rightfully laughs at Rowley because he's lying. But they say it in such a way that you have to really read the English to understand. I explaining it to you. But this should really read. Rowley, delusional. Rowley, pathological liar. Rowley, irresponsible. Rowley, does not care. Rowley, resign. Those should be the concept, because if crime is the number one issue on the mind of every citizen, and Rowley is the Prime Minister with all the power to control and to make sure that people are safe, and he's failing, then Rowley should resign. But the Express continues. Opposition leader now. So you see, they tell you that Rowley is a dunce. But in order to balance it off, they have to attack Kamala. Let's hear the attack on Kamala. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar, on her part, could have tried to accommodate the Prime Minister by replacing Griffith. Had she done so, and had Dr. Rowley continued to refuse, his recalcitrance would have been even less persuasive. Now, this is the editorial of a newspaper. This is supposed to be intelligent people. Do you know what they're saying there? Not that crime talks require all hands on deck. That crime talks require people who have spent their lives studying crime and crime fighting, of which Gary Griffith is one. Not that the Prime Minister needs to be an adult and not a puerile little spoiled bullying brat. The Express is saying, rather than tell Rowley, number one, stop your nonsense. You is the man called for crime talks. You are the man in charge. You are the one failing. Sit down and hear what people have to say. Get the meeting going. Not that. Doesn't that sound reasonable? Doesn't that sound correct? That Rowley should be the man leading the charge of the crime talks and so on? And rather than the Express say, Rowley, we don't want to hear your nonsense and your emotion. This is about 510 murders for the year already. 614 murders last year. Police service failing. People being invaded and killed in their homes. Murders on the pavements at broad daylight. More citizens having seen a dead body with brains on the pavement and on the road than ever before. Businesses are not safe. People are not safe. The country is under a fear, a cloud of fear. And you need, Rowley, to sit down and hear the ideas of everyone, because you have none. You have done nothing. You have failed, and you have overseen the worst crime spike in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, and the people need a leader to take charge and do their job or get out. Shouldn't that be the responsible approach? Hear what y'all didn't hear what the Express say, no? The Express say, not that Rowley should put aside his petty childish differences. He don't like how Gary does dress, or he don't like Gary wife's shoes. He don't like Gary because Gary talked to him bad. Put aside that, because people are dying, and deal with the issues that all you come to say, Kamala could help. Well, all right. If Kamala could help, then make Kamala Prime Minister. Let she run the whole thing. Why leave her incompetent fella there? I'm not understanding. But anyway, the Express says that no, it's not Rowley. It's not the Prime Minister. It's not his arrogant, childish ways. It's not his playing politics with serious issues while people dying. Kamala should have said, Gary, you are really an expert. You have spent 42 of your years qualifying yourself, educating yourself, reading and moving. You have held several positions in which you have been successful in fighting crime and so on. Gary, even though you have been very successful and our people need someone of your ability and others around to fight the crime scourge, just to placate Rowley's puerility and his stupidity and his immaturity, Gary, you stay out. I can't. Let me read it for you now. That's what the Express is saying. The Express says, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar, on her part, could have tried to accommodate the Prime Minister by replacing Griffith. Okay. Well, Angasiv, hear what? Rowley do fine. Levi Garcia good. So in March, if you want Rowley to fly up and watch the game, as we play Canada to try and go into the Copa America for the first time, so Trinidad and Tobago, the entire population, could unite and celebrate the Soca Warriors' victory over Canada in the USA and head into the Copa America. In order to get Rowley to attend the game in the USA, Angus Eve, you can't pick Levi Garcia. You can't pick your best player. You can't pick your European star boy who's paid the most money. You can't pay a man who's going the main man to get in there. You know, because we want Rowley to come and sit down and watch the game. Really, Express, are you really serious? It's a good thing I don't cuss on douglAR politics, you know. Because, ladies and gentlemen, have you all ever heard anything so absurd? I cannot make it up, you know. Go and read it for yourself. The 22nd of the 11th, 2023. Express editorial. Kamala, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar, on her part, could have tried to accommodate Rowley, the Prime Minister, by replacing Griffith. And hear the rationale. Had she done so, and had Rowley continued to refuse, because they know that Rowley playing games and he ain't want no talks, he's failed for 8 years, he's taken no advice, he's done nothing, he's overseen the worst crime scourge. So the Express knows that Rowley don't care. They're telling Kamala, play a game, tell Gary sit out, so that Rowley will continue to refuse, and then they could say, well, look, Rowley refused. That's a national newspaper. What the people, you see? That's what the Express say, right? That's why I tell you, don't buy these things. Don't buy these things. Because look at what them say. And look at what the people say.
I do not agree with it because I find it something for the betterment of the country.
I don't agree because as leader and especially leader of national security, he should be in anything that is critical to the welfare of the citizens. And that's my view on it. He should be at the top.
He isn't taking an interest in the safety of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
I would disagree with that, right? Because you see, crime is everybody's problem, right? So even if the opposition and the current Prime Minister, you understand how to sit down and talk about it and how to go about dealing with this crime situation. I think that is something he should do and participate in.
Because if he's supposed to be the Prime Minister of the country, we have a lot of crime rate going on in Trinidad, and he must take part in any discussion going on to make the country a better place.
So I showed you all the Guardian, that you must continue not to buy Guardian Media Limited. I showed you the stupidity of the Express. Now let me go to the next one, Newsday. So I'm not picking on none. I'm just showing you that all are the reason that Rowley and the PNM could remain there. All they like to ask, but how they, Kamala, if all they perform so good, how the people perception and the voting, well, it's based on race and misinformation. These newspapers fill your mind, create a perception, fill your mind share. When they fill your mind with falsehoods and lies, then you cannot see a clear picture. Look at this next one now, Newsday. People, not politicians, must act. So Rowley is the Prime Minister with all the power. He is not acting. He is failing. He has failed for 8 years. The Newsday say, no, well, forget that. Forget Kamala, who's the opposition leader and have no power. But they try to equate that with the man who have all the power. It's you. You have to see about yourself. I'm not joking, you know. So it's not the responsibility of the PNM. It's not the responsibility of Rowley. It's not the responsibility of Fitzgerald, Ethelbert, Bodybag, ride a horse with an 8-year-old boy whining on the boomsy on a horse while Special Branch wants him. It's not them fault. It's your fault. Let me read it for you. Don't say I lie and I'm not lying on the Newsday, you know. It's fair to say the much touted crime talks have stalled. The talks were initially put off for the budget debate, but these proceedings have long ended. Who put it off for the budget debate? Keith Rowley called for the talks with his PNM president, Kangaloo. Called for the talk, say Olive Branch. Kamala say yes. Rowley delay. Rowley travel. Rowley say budget. Rowley gone again. Rowley travel. Rowley not going. Rowley don't like Gary. Rowley. But they come now. The Prime Minister flew to Canada and has now gone to Saudi Arabia and will be away on more official business until December. No, he rushed back here. Why he rushed back? All they ask him, how he reach, how he cancel all of them things that all you thought he was going to. Meanwhile, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the opposition leader, made a trip abroad last month, there being no evident need for her to stay put. That's a fair shot. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was out of the country for 3 days in the last 24 months. Rowley had done gone. There are no talks. Them have to try to attack. You see, Rowley is incompetent. Rowley is dotish. Rowley don't care. Rowley is heartless. Rowley is corrupt. Rowley is ignorant. Rowley is a bully. But Kamala went away. Newsday continued. If our politicians are paralyzed, our communities must not be. We can no longer afford to wait for legislators to pass laws or for the firearms licenses to be issued. Stop. Legislators to pass laws? Number one, you have all the laws you need. Number two, if there are new laws needed, Rowley have the majority. What is his government's legislative agenda? What is his lie more AG to lie out in U.S. court? What is his legislative agenda? That's Rowley. Don't put it on politicians. The PNM is in power. You see, they can't say it. They like to just pass it on a brush all. Well, that's what Rowley does do on the couch. We can no longer afford to wait for legislation to pass laws or for firearm licenses to be issued. Firearm licenses have been put on hold because Keith Christopher Rowley concocted a scenario in order to ensure that Gary Griffith could not top the merit list to be Commissioner of Police. Keith Christopher Rowley, without evidence about FULs, went and whispered in Paula Mae Weeks' ears on August 11, 2021, causing her to encourage Bliss C. Prasad, the then chairperson of the Police Service Commission, to misbehave in public office and withdraw a merit list that was duly constituted and signed by a majority of the Police Service Commission. The president then, Paula Mae Weeks, breached the Constitution, Section 123(4), by not sending the merit list to the Parliament. See what this newspaper ignores all of those facts, all of those truths, all of those misbehaviors by Rowley, Paula Mae Weeks, Bliss C. Prasad, Fitzgerald Ethelbert Hines, who then concocted with two citizens who are beholden to the PNM to do some kind of report, not duly constituted or without the local standards so to do. He did not, Rowley didn't tell the PCA to do a report. He didn't tell the DPP to investigate. He didn't tell the police to investigate or the Professional Standards Bureau who investigates these things all the time. He went and get two of his friends who he controlled to come, and one of them didn't even bother to sign the thing. And then he and his government put their own commissioner of police and instructed them to stop FUL licenses. Those are the facts. You come to say that we can't wait on politicians. No, you can't wait on Rowley. You can't wait on Fitzgerald Hines. You can't wait on Erla, who is dependent on Rowley for her 1 year extension by 1 year extension as commissioner of police. That Erla jumped from 12th to 1st because of Rowley. Why don't you all print the truth? All the research available shows the factors that breed criminality are community level, social, economic, and educational. Social, economic, and educational. Since September 2015, Rowley has weaned the country off education, closing down everything, cutting funding to everything, as I've said. Social, cutting food cards, cutting the safety net, cutting the fuel subsidy, cutting social opportunities, cutting culture, cutting sport. You all don't understand that? So you all are saying, these are the things that create criminality. Rowley has created these conditions. Therefore, Rowley creates criminality. That's the logical truth. Can the news they say it? No. So they say, you now, you must do these things. Rowley have $59 billion a year to do it. He ain't doing it. You must do it. When you broken, you unemployed, you ducking from bullets, you studying your children how to pay for gate because they cut gate, you ain't getting no food, inflation killing you in the grocery. The news they come to blame you. In the past, ground level action has worked. For example, the Citizen Security Program funded by the Inter-American Development Bank reportedly saw a 46% reduction in murders and targeted towns back in 2014. So, in 2014, Kamala Persad-Bissessar was the Prime Minister. She had been the Prime Minister since May 26, 2010. She had instituted and gotten the Selwyn Ryan report, a study on the impacts of investment and social development and education, sport in at-risk communities. She instructed each of her ministers in the cabinet, whether it was Minister of the People, Minister of Sport, Minister of Culture, Minister of Education, Minister of Tertiary Education, ministers across the board, to create opportunities to impact the crime fight. And the Newsday comes to say, in 2014, a 46% drop in crime was seen because of our Inter-American Development Program. Not because of Kamala and her policy across the board of opportunity, talent identification, interventions, social development, Ministry of the People, direct impact. None of these things. Increasing gate, tech VOC. This news starts to tell us about an inter-American development, one of the programs, and it happened to be signed off on by Kamala too. Do you see how dishonest that is? Are you all listening and understanding? This is why Newsday has gone down to less than 8,000 papers a day from a high of 49,000 papers per day in 2014. Have you ever heard anything so dishonest? Right? The Inter-American Development Bank reportedly saw a 46% reduction in murders in targeted towns back in 2014. Kamala was the Prime Minister. So the 46% reduction in targeted towns was Kamala Prasad Bisesa as Prime Minister. Why are you all so sick? When you're reading papers now, victims ID soldier while reporting during patrol duty at station. People get robbed. When they go to report it, they see the soldier who robbed them there to take the report with the police. Best friend shot dead. Senseless killings in Bonaire, say Bonaire residents. Jews, but that's another one. Put up this image though, but I must commend my citizens. Rowley come back from wherever he come back from. Saudi Arabia, sitting down to take picture. He don't want to take picture with you taking hamper. And only 109 people listening to our Prime Minister. Imagine a Prime Minister come to talk. And that's why I must give you all a clap, my people, because it shows you all are fed up of Rowley. Rowley has been unmasked. Whether you wear tracksuit or robe on top of a suit which he should not wear. It's a picture there, you go see it with a circle. You have it? Yeah, man, put it up. Look, Rowley. Rowley, the Prime Minister of the country, you know, talking. And this was after he had been talking for about 30 minutes. 100 and no, the press conference wasn't at 8 p.m. when people home to watch TV and things. So don't try that. People just not interested. So I must commend you. You all are now understanding that the politics of race must be rejected. You have to vote on people who will support you, who are intelligent, and who will serve you. Okay, so that you don't have to go through these. Look at this one page, page 3 of the Express. Man slain at bus shed. Body found days after with gunshot wounds. Body fished out of water. Puppy rescuer robbed of iPhone. Woman shot by relative. Suspect kills man in car park. This is one newspaper. And Keith Christopher Rowley says he leaving this one day that he supports. He not going to no crime talks. And all you blame Kamala because she want Gary. And the Guardian, the Newsday, and the Express allow that man who's Prime Minister to be so disrespectful, to be so heartless, to be so shameful, to do nothing about the citizens who he claims to represent being killed, raped, battered, abused, living in fear. And Rowley goes on the golf course and tells all of you, great is the PNM, vote for me. Ladies and gentlemen, elections have consequences. You cannot vote for this because he's black. He's black, yes, but he's a disgrace. He's a dunce. He's lazy. He buy wooden ladder that bend. He ride on a horse with an 8-year-old boy. He is nasty. He is vindictive. He's wicked. He's useless. Patrick Manning knew it, and you all could vote for that. If he was white, if he was Indian, if he was green, if he was blue, he's still a complete idiot. And that is who Rowley has in charge of your safety and security. How could you possibly vote for that? Good night.